All right, so that for this first step here, actually probably should have had you do this on the previous slide, so I apologize for that. I just noticed when I was getting ready to move on that my text in column D was too long for the column width. So if you want to, go ahead. Not if you want to, you need to do this. Go ahead, click where it says markup price, column D1, excuse me, cell D1, and then click that, and then come up here to where it says wrap text, and go ahead and click that, and clean that up a little bit. Okay, so for the next step, we are going to type in the word revenue into column E. So right here, column E, revenue. So basically what revenue is how much money you brought in. So with all of the items that we sold in the Panther Parlor, how much money did we make? So in order to do that, we are going to need to multiply the quantity, so basically how many of each item we had times what we sold it for. And so Excel is awesome because it allows you to enter in formulas and it will do the math for you. So here's how you do this. Could be a little tricky, but I know you guys will get it. So basically in column E, that's where we're going to put our formulas. So for cell E2, we are going to be saying, so the 14 sunglasses that we sold for $3 a piece. So we have to do 14 times 3. So whenever you're adding in a formula to a cell, you click on the cell where you want it to be calculated, and you hit an equal sign. So basically you're saying too much cell here. You're saying cell E2, whatever value is in there, that is equal to, so I put an equal sign up there. Notice this is your formula bar up here as well. So whatever I type in this cell is going to show up right here in this big long formula bar. So there's my equal sign that I just typed in. And now there's a couple different ways you can do this. You can hand type in the cell addresses. So I told you already that we're going to be multiplying cell C2, which is the 14, times cell D2. So I could just type in C2 and see how it selected it for me. So it's saying, okay, so you want this cell to equal C2. And then, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but a multiplication symbol on your keyboard is actually if you hit shift and I think it's your A key, it's that little asterisk. That's the same thing as multiply on your keyboard. So I'm saying cell E2 equals C2 times, and now I'm going to type in D2. So capital D2. So here's my formula. Cell E2 is going to equal C2 times D2. Notice how everything's highlighted. It's all up here in your formula bar. And then you simply hit enter. And it does the math for you. I'm going to go ahead and do the second one with you because I want to show you a different way you can do it. Actually, if you need to, go ahead and pause me and do that first one. And then when you come back, now I'm going to show you the second way. So same thing. I'm now in cell E3. I'm going to hit my equal sign. So I'm saying cell E3 equals. Instead of manually typing in C3, instead of manually typing in the cell addresses, you can just click them. So I'm saying E3. I put my equal sign in there. So now I can click. It's going to equal the 130 wristbands we got. So see how I clicked it and it automatically put C3 in there. And I'm going to hit my time sign again. And again, I can click it. So 130 bands times the $1 that we charged. So I just clicked it again and D3 popped in and then hit equal. And so that's going to say that for the wristbands, we have a revenue of $130. For the heart-shaped sunglasses, we have a revenue of $42. Okay, so go ahead and calculate the formulas for the other 3 items that you chose for this assignment. Do not do this either on a calculator or in your head. I don't care. You might look at it and you might be like, oh, I know that answer, and you might be able to calculate it in your head. I want you guys using the formulas because I want you to learn how to use formulas in Excel. So pause me now. Go ahead and use a formula to calculate the rest of your revenue for your other 3 items. So I have gone ahead and calculated all of the revenue for my 5 items. So I'm gonna save. Make sure every time you do something, you save it every couple of minutes so you don't lose your work. So now we are on steps 4 and 5, where we're going to actually figure out the profit for each item. So in column F, we're going to type profit, and then step 5 will calculate it. So I'll show you how to do that. So over here, column F, F1, cell F1, type in profit. And now we need to figure out the formula to calculate the profit. So basically, though, real quick, the difference between the profit and the revenue. So yes, we made $42 on the 14 pairs of sunglasses that we sold for $3 a piece. But we had to buy them initially. So we spent $16.99 on those sunglasses. So to determine the actual profit that we made, we need to subtract the revenue. We need to take the revenue, and from that, we need to subtract the cost of what we already spent on the item, which is $16.99. So in cell F2, we're gonna type up our formula. So again, remember, every time you do a formula, you need to enter in the equal sign. So we're gonna say cell F2 equals, and I'm gonna click because I think it's faster. So when I click on E2, and then I'm gonna hit the subtraction sign minus the cost of the initial item, which was $16.99. So when I click this, it should say B2, perfect, and then I'm gonna hit enter. So that's going to show that the actual profit of what we made from the sunglasses is $25.01. Go ahead, pause me now, and do that if you haven't already in that cell to figure out the first item's profit. So now you have the first item's profit. Now I'm going to show you a little trick that will help save you a lot of time. I didn't want to show you this on the last one because I wanted you to kind of get used to typing in the formulas, but once you type up a formula in a specific column, if you take this little guy right here, it's kind of hard to see, but it's that little tiny green square in the bottom right corner of that cell. It's that little green square right there. If you hover that over that little green square, you can see your cursor turn into a crossbar. If you click and drag down, you're basically saying, repeat that same formula. It's kind of hard to explain this. You're saying, repeat that same formula for the corresponding cells for the rest of these rows. So I took it, dragged it, and I'm going to let it go. And look, it is automatic. Instead of us having to retype in each formula each time, if you click and drag, it will automatically calculate the profit for each of these. Now, when I click on this cell here, so F, just to verify, if I click on F3 right here, I can look up here. What is the formula? It says it's E3 minus B3. So if I wanted to verify, sure enough, it's E3, which is the $130 that we made, minus the cost of the initial item, which is B3. So we can see that our profit from the bracelets was $90.01. So again, real quick, just in case I went too fast with that, I'm going to show you how you do that. Once your formula is here, you're going to take this little green square, you're going to click and drag all the way down and let go, and your profit will automatically be calculated. Go ahead and save, Control S, and move on to the next slide.